teams if he is true to his word. We'll have to see. Jumping into this game, Zach is out for Meteos right away.
And already Karthus, so if we're going to assume the Nunu and the Jace bans, those are going to be the next 2 bans for Cloud9, as Curse is just trying to counter Meteos.
Here we go, Nasus, Zach, there's the Jace actually coming themselves. Will they force maybe a pick that Voyboy wants here? The Elise is still open for grabs. Possibly is maybe what they want. They could still, you know, rise top. It's been a big thing, and Voyboy's been known to do a few crazy things.
That is still, of all the crazy things Voyboy's been known to do, based off the knowledge they have of what Cloud9 likes to do, giving them the Jace ban, especially when Curse plays both Elise and Jace, is taking something away from Curse in particular. Unless they're just going Twisted Fate here and they think they've gotten rid of all the big threats, that would be a thing they could do, but I would have expected them to force Cloud9 into banning the Jace, because Curse has been readily first picking it all season.
We'll have to see. They did leave the Shen up. It's been big. Voyboy felt comfortable on it, and we've kind of poked in the past that nobody's really perfected Shen. He's just played very well, so that's why he's almost left open all the time.
He's one of those guys who's always there, but never that prevalent. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
He'll be in a game, and he'll be like, there's a Shen in this game.
We're going to get split points.
That's a neat thing that's happening now, but he's never like, man, they got Shen, we just can't control it. Maybe 45 minutes in, you'll remember that you can't handle Shen,
when
like what happened to Double Lift just now with Zion Spartan, but it's a very rare thing.
So it looks like Kennen, a little bit of area of effect damage. They're going to want to grab up to get in. That's an easy one to pick. He's not going to lose his lane right off the bat, so it's really for Cloud9 to possibly show their hand here.
And it's also a good pick against Cloud9 because it does a couple of things for them. Cloud9 loves to turret dive, and Kennen's one of the hardest things to turret dive in the mid game because he'll just stun you under turret, and that's the last thing you want. Plus, it is probably... Kennen is close to one of Cloud9's highest priority picks, just because he is also strong in lane, and he's also good at tower diving, which is the things Cloud9 likes to do. So getting that out of their hands early was a good...
And I'm interested to see what kind of lineup they go with, if it's going to be, you know, dive heavy. Taking out 2 of Meteos' junglers to get at him. People have tried stealing both of his buffs. So I don't know if this is going to work even.
What do we have left? I mean, he hasn't shown too much success unless he's on Zac, Nasus, or Elise.
Right.
And all 3 of those things are banned this game.
That was a good forced ban.
The thing that Meteos, in one of their defeats, he was on Lee Sin. Now, Meteos has a lot of confidence in his own Lee Sin. And it actually seems like it could work fairly well against this composition for Curse because he could kick Voyboy back, and then he can close on to Cobb's Draven fairly well. But yeah, I'd probably have to say he'd go with Lee Sin if I had to guess what jungler he'd do.
We'll see sneaking High to choose it up. Looks like High already has his Twisted Fate. Balls grabbing Rumble in the top. Unless it gets switched around, we haven't really seen Balls take that Twisted Fate, so I'm pretty sure his Rumble
and J4 is the safer version of Lee Sin, I'd almost like to say. Less mechanically complex while still quite difficult. And he's the super gap close diver that Meteos likes playing. He's kind of like Zac, just jump in, bounce everyone around, except you're bouncing them into a little circle of doom.
I like that pick as well against Kennen too, because we saw actually that I believe when Balls was going in for their loss, he kind of went to go in as Kennen and he got locked up by a Jarvan. And it's pretty much the same reason you see Olaf's and Jarvan's, because you can't get out.
Don't let him run through. You can move as fast as you want. If you run into a wall, it doesn't help you much. And I see that they're selecting Ahri right here. The Karthus is gone. The Twisted Fate has been picked away. I really think that they could go with an Ahri here. Nyjacky's Ahri's been really strong in the past. Ahri
goes with, again, just to the Jarvan pick. If we keep going back to him, being able to thwart that ultimate in the fight. So really safe but aggressive picks here. Edward bringing up the Leon again. It's been a few weeks for sure.
It's again the full Curse dive comp, and that's what they always like doing. And once Curse had their full dive comp in, it was just telling Sneaky, yeah, I should probably play Ezreal with a little bit of safety in here. We might need it. Since they'd already put themselves into the rest of their composition, they don't have the best counter dive, which is why Ezreal has to be able to save himself, because Curse is going full aggro. I'm
sure Sneaky may have nightmares of that shift he played in their loss at MLG.
He's not going to do that again.
Not going to do that again. So we'll see Meteos and the rest of the team picking up quite high-tier champions in their pool for this champion select. But on the other side, Saint hasn't played Nocturne too much, but we've seen Big Fat use it to great extent. So Nocturne definitely still in the mix for being reputable jungler at this point.
And I really wonder if Saintvicious' Nocturne is going to be a stark difference to Big Fat LPs, because Saintvicious is probably going to build some damage items if he gets farm early, whereas Big Fat LP would only go full tank. I think Curse kind of needs it too to get enough damage through for their team.
We'll see what the comps are. guessing this going to be a 2v1. Kennen versus Rumble, not a lane that I like to match up against, so I'm figuring they're going to swap that one out.
Yeah, especially because Cloud9 is the fast-pushing turret team, specifically with Jarvan. He's the guy you pick to do the fast-pushing turret team. If Curse doesn't have a plan to stop early game pushing in this game, they're going to fall victim to the Cloud9 game once again. So I'd actually look for Curse, or specifically Saintvicious, to maybe pull some sneaky stuff and stop these 3v2s. Maybe kill Sneaky.
Maybe take some sneaky stuff to Sneaky.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the possibility of Meteos on Jarvan, right? He's always present with Zach, but that Jarvan is the pop-up. The lanes have enough crowd control slow from top to bottom, and those are the lanes he likes to feed. Usually it's LemonNation and Sneaky kind of doing their own thing, winning the lane by themselves, and they pull up a good, fight, or he has to assist them. So.
And the thing that Cloud9 does, and why they always pick the way they do, is they need lanes that can survive on their own, so that Meteos is never pulled in any specific direction. That's the whole way they dictate to the other team, is if they don't need help anywhere, Meteos has to put pressure where he wants.
So it looks like Cloud9 wants a fast mid-rush here to that mid-bush towards the bottom dragon side river. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Here we are, Cloud9 versus Curse. Cloud9 coming off a win. Curse definitely had a defeat earlier today, and Cloud9 is hoping to use that against him.
If Cloud9 can go to 10-2, that's going to give them a significant edge on most people. They're already 2 games up on CLG and Vulcan coming into this week. CLG's dropped a game with Vulcan winning, so they would really start to distance themselves when going for those first 2 spots and a playoff bye at the regionals.
So completely walking around placed wards right now. Looks like Cloud9 has made themselves present in that Baronish ward that Cloud9, or rather that Curse has placed. So they're going to back up. And I think they actually might go back to their own blue. This is the first time we've seen a team backtrack all the way if they do.
And Curse has been so sneaky. They actually won the level 1 against Vulcan by hiding in one of these coves as well. How did Cloud9 sense that they shouldn't be going there? They knew they didn't have vision of that part of the jungle, but they're almost just toying with them. Are they going to go back?
This is crazy. They put the pink ward down, so they're like, wait, putting the pink ward down at red, they have to know that nobody's been there yet. They have to be in blue.
I mean, especially because Cloud9 has vision of Curse's blue as well. They're like, yeah, Curse has got to be in our blue jungle. Guys, just stay away from that. And we even heard Dyrus when talking about the jungle changes, these jungle mobs not spawning until 155. There's so much longer to wait and play around here. And you can tell LemonNation doesn't really know what's going up. Now he does.
Now he does. He throws the ward down in the bush, not destroyed by Edward. So Meteos, again, we'll probably see one of the games where he jumps to the lanes to soak up experience, unless he goes for fast blue here, which would be pretty scary.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance he can go for a fast blue because they saw Saintvicious and they actually have a 2v2 in the bottom lane, which means no one can go and push Meteos off that buff without losing a huge amount of lane XP. So I think Saintvicious and Meteos are having vertical junglers this game, jungles instead of horizontal ones.
Yeah, there's no ping coming from Ari in the mid, and it looks like it's going to have to be Saintvicious to stay down the bottom. Edward taking some poke there. Lemon getting all the hits in he can as well, actually being the aggressor here, taking position in the bush.
Yeah, Edward's not usually one to get aggressed on as a support. I feel like if Curse gets a level 2 pretty quickly in the bottom lane, we might see some action down there pretty shortly.
So all these lanes actually matched up even in this game, not something you get to see all the time. I was thinking that Voyboy would not match up against Balls, but we'll see how that lane goes for him as Balls begins to level. It's definitely going to be in Rumple's favor soon here. 3 minutes in, Cop and Edward forced back to the turret, but they're at the perfect spot to farm here. They just have to be careful about getting engaged on.
I think Curse has to wait until this wave is clear before they can do anything, but at that point, they're actually in danger of a Meteos gank, and that's the worst time to get hooked.
Locked it up. He's trying to deny the XP. See, they're not going full kill right now. They definitely want to get the harass out and exhaust going down, which is a little troublesome.
Getting that exhaust out is great for the Curse bot lane, considering the size of that minion wave that they were going in on. Edward's actual almost fake aggression going in and getting the stun onto Sneaky scared LemonNation enough to burn the exhaust. I don't think that was a good move by Cloud9.
Voyboy getting that lane crushed into the turret, kind of not having too much trouble here. So Balls is really just trying to get him up against that turret. Possibly, like you said, it's hard to dive, so just keep that lane there possibly.
And it's especially hard to dive when all the lanes are actually equal.
Yeah.
It's a throwback game right now for these guys. And the lanes, as the throwbacks are kind of close, but as we'd expect, Cloud9 with their incredibly strong laning mechanics are up very slightly.
Right, it's exactly what you said. Meteos doesn't have to worry. He's got no problems with lane that he has to go to. He can farm right now, and all of his lanes are pushed up past river. We see in the bottom lane, Saint trying to make something happen. Not hatching any wards either. There's nothing up there, so he is very patiently waiting at level 4. This is going to be a walk-in gank for him.
Yeah,
so
as
here we
soon
go.
as he goes through the river, though, Cloud9 sees him, so they're trying to get away here.
The shift, the Zenith Blade misses as well. Looks like with Saint being known, that red and blue about to wear off for him, heads back to his jungle.
And Saint's got some catching up to do here because Meteos was farming that entire time, and now Saint's actually a little bit at mercy of a Meteos counter jungle, or maybe just a 2v2 in mid.
He actually has spent less time in lanes after
bot
losing
lane.
a buff. Bot lane going in, as well as Meteos onto Nocturne. Saintvicious getting a little bit of aggression too, as we see LemonNation going down for first blood. Meteos makes it out of the jungle, but good action.
We knew with that exhaust down, Cloud9 was vulnerable, and Edward finally landed one of those Zenith Blades, got the kill.
The charm just out of range. There it goes on to, Nyjacky getting hit up. Meteos, good health here. Not enough mana coming from Nyjacky, but it's not going to be the kill either for Meteos.
The buffs having just expired on these junglers was not able to train down Nyjacky, but really, the first bit of action in this game was the 2v2 aggressive combo of Cop and Edward, getting the kill on a Sneaky and LemonNation, so we'll see if they can carry anything through.
These top laners not even backing yet. Good grand under each in their pockets, so we'll see what Balls can do to hold off this last wave. We'll probably see Voyboy back here, not seeing any pressure from the junglers. They're kind of just on an island right now, farming themselves away.
And I wonder how long those guys are going to be isolated, because yes, 1v1 top lanes can be very isolationist in these situations, but the Twisted Fates we've seen be successful, especially when Link was playing it for COG, camped the top lane. And since Voyboy is pushed up so far right now, he's at risk of being camped, potentially by the Twisted Fate. But then Saintvicious has the darkness on Nocturne as well, so maybe he could come back with something else.
All right, so we have a 400 gold lead right now at 6.5 minutes. That first blood going over to Edward, and that's just what he does. Edward Carry-Lol making it happen for the bottom lane. Kill secured, exactly, kill secured. And we still see them. There's at the same spot, LemonNation and Sneaky not giving up on the amount of pressure that they're putting out here.
No, and Voyboy actually goes all in on Balls. He might get him.
Maelstrom right there, throwing down the storm. Does he have enough? The scrap shield of that Q goes out, and the equalizer will not keep him in turret range. Oh, there's the cards. Does he have the hand? Folds it down. The wild cards comes out.
And it was very interesting how Meteos stopped hitting Voyboy when they knew they had the kill secured to let High get that kill, because Cloud9 knows the key to this one is to allow High's ultimate and punch when he lands to have even more power. So yes, they turn a kill around on Voyboy, but it's at a pretty big cost because they sent so many people up there and were late enough into the game that it looks like Curse is going to force this dragon.
A dragon coming out very quick, and it looks like Voyboy, I guess it feels like he's crushing the lane. Goes quickly for that needlessly large rod right off the bat, and he was able to take down Balls pretty fast in that situation. Balls not grabbing up any magic mitigation there, so he will be taking the damage. Dragon for turret in the top lane. We'll see how these guys continue to move.
And that's just another one of those traits, turret for dragon. It's really hard to tell which one of these is more beneficial, because even the stats, first turret versus first dragon, generally both are about 50-50, because so often they are traded back and forth. Cloud9 always favors the turrets. That's why they push so many turrets. It's how they create their own map pressure. So I think both teams are honestly okay with that trade. Curse likes the gold, Cloud9 likes the turret.
Absolutely likes the gold. They've now put themselves in the lead. It's pretty much even, but they have a slight edge. See that Golem Spirit coming out on the side of Meteos in a few. Looks like Saintvicious will go for that tanky build as well.
Yeah, that's the thing to do on Nocturne in North America, at least. And I'm not sure if I entirely agree with that, since the backline collapse on Saintvicious is actually not that great, and Saintvicious needs to be able to gank High, actually. And a Nocturne with a lot of damage can destroy Twisted Fates, take him out of the game, because he'll never be able to stun Nocturne off if he times a spell shield right. Just the choice Saintvicious has went with, since that's the game he's been playing lately. The slightly less farm, more get your lanes going.
Definitely a different jungler than we see Saint playing. He has brought it out before, but there's
out.
no clear execution on any lane, but it's going to be Meteos in the top. That's the cataclysm we were talking about. Kennan's Lightning Rush becomes obsolete.
Doesn't matter how fast you're going if you're running into a wall. Meteos didn't even think about closing there. He didn't flag toss in. He was like, I can ult you now, get trapped. Inside the equalizer. Just a smart gank from Cloud9, and they punish Voyboy for A, not having a turret, and B, trying to keep an advantage that wasn't really there.
And here we were talking about before, the crowd control coming out from the lane. They do get the fear off, able to take down LemonNation, just a little bit out of position on that one. Sneaky should be all right as he dodges out the solar flare.
Smart positioning there by Sneaky at the end, but that was another example, actually, of a very clear Saintvicious giving the kill to Cop. Saintvicious had red. The old Saintvicious would have tried to get that kill so he could farm himself, but he gave it to Cop because Curse has a new mentality now.
Looks like they're trying to clear it. Sneaky doing what he can to siege off the turret. High has been kept in mid. We've only really seen that one Destiny come from him in the top lane, and that was really a cleanup kill. That was to follow up on something that had gone awry. So we'll see if they can start making plays with that soon. Curse starting to come back. Not come back, but really take a step to that next rung of the ladder here. 3-2, gold still even, and Curse has, or Cloud9 rather, has found that turret in the top lane, still the only one.
And the cool thing about the Nocturne and Twisted Fate ultimates being used at different times is they're now completely out of sync. So High, if he wants a window, can use that to go somewhere else, as Jacky's ult is also down, so the mid lane pressure on High is really low right now. I would actually expect High to go try and shut down Cop, since that bottom lane is where Cloud9 needs the most help.
It's really crazy the amount of lane ganks that are coming in here. We just saw, obviously, Saint do it on Nocturne because you can as much, but Ball's there right behind High, coming up in the lane with Scrap Shield on to try and throw something down. Nyjacky forced to blow his ultimate, but he's got that blue buff up. They still have good siege clear. The flash is forced. There it is. There's Meteos coming in. The Cataclysm is up again, and he helps his team once more. Saint just on the outside. Oh, no, he can't do anything. He's silenced, but he gets the help coming in from Meteos for another one.
And that was another example of why Cloud9 is so good at turret diving. There's a fight bottom as well.
One after the other. They want to be able to react to this. LemonNation just got back to lane. The toss in. He gets the death sentence, and Cop comes in. High for the help. Beautiful job in the 3-for-1.
And 3 people still dead on Curse right now, so Cloud9 is pushing up mid lane as hard as possible. They're probably not going to be able to get this turret, but they got a lot of advantages from that set of exchanges.
Sneaky's build here. He's 11 minutes in, hasn't built the tier. Pretty interesting for that blue build, as maybe kind of switching it up a little bit. He does have that lizard up for the true damage burn. They go back. We'll see what they decide to put under their belts. A lot of fighting you can see that came out of the middle lane. High and Nyjacky both on the double Dorns build.
And this is one of the big bonuses, as fights just keep happening of playing like Cloud9.
Everywhere it's going up. Oh, guys, so close to the kill. And it looks like we will have to get a quick pause in. Oh, looks like they're ready. No sound. Now there's sound. These guys just want to play with us during these fights.
Want to play the game, man.
Absolutely. And they are saying the sound is good, so it looks like we're going to be able to lock this down. The fight was big. He is pretty much 274 HP and 4 seconds left to see if he is going to. This has me on the edge of my seat right
Predictions,
now.
alive or dead? I think he's dead.
It looks like we are.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's absolutely dead.
Sorry, guys.
Yep, we were on the players.
It was a foregone conclusion. He's gone. I'm sorry. I want to talk about... I think I want to talk about what happened just earlier, because Cloud9 attacked multiple points at the same time, and then when they got it, they just got like double their reward for everything they've done. And High might be... No, he's not going in for anything. Since Cloud9 had so much turret pressure before the fight, when they did win the fight, they were able to take a very clean objective afterwards.
So we'll have to see. Wow, he's crushing down on this turret. Edwards just behind him. Cop not there to help. They're not going to try to go on Sneaky after this. They're just do a little brute force tactic, guerrilla warfare, and they're out. Oh, whoa, getting ejected out of the seat there. A turret goes down, and so does Balls.
Just catching Cloud9 by surprise. Gosh. 2 quick kills by Voyboy and Nyjacky. That is the step-up game that we wanted them to see.
Oh my gosh, Curse. Being omnipresent. I think they just broke laning phase at 11 minutes because they wanted to, but if they want, they could go back to this.
I also feel like the laning phase got broke because Cloud9 took the 3 outer turrets. So now, if Curse wants to go out on the map, they kind of have to fight people for it. They need to be able to push their pressure back at Cloud9, and they're doing it because they're actually a little bit stronger in fights right now. Nyjacky just proved it there. Cop is Draven with soon to be a Bloodthirster, so they can fight as long as they're not getting outnumbered.
It almost really is one of those ways you can dictate. You're like, when is kind of laning phase over? Your turrets are crushed. It could happen at 7, it could happen at 15. Happened here around 10 minutes, and we have actually seen Curse adapt quite well. Kills in the bottom lane are solely coming from Cop and Leona. That one came from Saintvicious, and he did that in the bottom lane, like you said, though, to get Cop more kills. The second ones just came from those 2 alone.
And speaking of kills, there's a very good chance this Dragon fight could be huge here. Balls is not level 11, whereas Voyboy is, and the Cannon and the Rumble Outs are kind of two of the most powerful abilities of the game in these mid-game Dragon fights. So if Curse can force around this Dragon, it might be very beneficial to them as they got the first one and they're trying to snowball on that.
See, Saintvicious' ult is up, slicing Maelstrom up. These guys have quite a few gap closers to get themselves followed up in this fight that Cloud9 has to be wary of. But power in numbers is actually in the advantage of both teams, again, as they do-si-do at Baron, or Dragon.
I really think unless Curse gets caught in a bad position here, they would have the edge in this fight, but as starting the Dragon, especially with Cop across the ledge, this might be a bad position for Curse. I wouldn't be surprised if Cloud9 tries to engage on them here or pincer them in. That's why Curse is backing off.
Yeah, if they would have seen Cop, I figured he would have caught a quick flag toss from Meteos there. That would have gone awry. Very good choice by Curse to come out of that fight. Nobody gets Dragon. They still have vision on it. So, or rather, C9 still has vision on it. So it's kind of a back and forth. They have to be careful.
It's Cloud9 who's got the pink ward control on the Dragon. So that's how they're able to kind of dictate that pace a little bit. But now that the minion waves are pushing all across the map, High's going way up to clear. They recognize Koff was in the bottom lane, pushing off as well, so the Dragon was not a super immediate threat. But now, it's right back again. This magnet is going to keep pulling people towards it because it's a pretty big objective. The game is close, and in the games today, Dragon's been changing a lot.
Destiny is just for movement across the map. High is now with his team. Flash is down for Voyboy here, so they have to be careful on their initiation, and we'll have to watch Meteos to see where his focus goes to shut down that engage. So everybody backing off once again. Just the Destiny showing a bit of power on the map.
And the fair chunk of damage that Curse took from the Ezreal ultimate, plus just the Dragon true damage that he puts on people whenever they piss him off and start hitting them back. So because of that, it's giving Cloud9 a little bit of free time at the turret here. So Cloud9 mind gaming with Curse here. Some big fight is going to break out pretty soon here because they can't keep dancing around turrets and dragons back and forth without somebody running into someone else.
Both of Cloud9's outer turrets that stand right now are above 75% of their HP. The mid turret is actually, like we said, down, but the second tier mid turret is down to 400 HP. So Cloud9, even if they win a fight slightly, have places to go with it. That's not good for Curse.
And generally speaking, Cloud9 plays a game in the enemy's side of the map. So that's why they're able to get all these advantage, and that's why Curse is always coming out of their own jungle, whereas Cloud9 is just positioned forward. So even if Curse pushes back Cloud9 a bit, it's harder for them to capitalize after these fights.
This poke coming out, True Shot Barrage, Wild Card, True Shot, or not True Shot, Mystic Shot rather, continuously hitting. You see Saint just trying to put his spell shield on and do everything he can, but he's still just above half HP as he ticks back up. They're going for the mid turret. They need this one to open up control of buffs, open up control of Dragon. Edward getting flayed up and hit though, but they realize if they play it smart, calm, cool, and collected, this could just be their turn.
And High is really low on mana before this fight. This is dangerous.
That's a beautiful equalizer going down. Voyboy is sitting directly on it with Edward. Tries to ult, but he's stuck inside the Cataclysm. Locks down the Zanya. Sneaky just on the outside, able to clean up a double kill there. Going with the fight. Almost everybody getting assists on these kills. The turnaround for Gop, the flash, the barrier, but he goes down. Triple kill for Sneaky.
Everyone getting so low on Cloud9, but nobody falling because they go in so well together and support each other. High had low mana in that, but because the equalizer was so on point by Balls, not even a rank 2 equalizer. That's the level 6 version of it right there. Rank 1 equalizer, if that's not too confusing. They just burned him down in that fight.
That was super crazy. Balls, or rather Meteos forced Voyboy to ult while he was inside Cataclysm. He knew he wasn't getting out. Another great engagement in just a way, like you said, figuring themselves in and out to micro the damage and get out with slivers of health. It's the hardest thing to do against, or hardest thing to see at when you're Cursed. You want to go. You saw Cop flash barrier because he wanted one kill, but just again, this is the way the cookie crumbled.
Well, he saw his adversary Sneaky already picking up 3, and he was like, I got to get that guy, shut him down, and just gave him a 4th. And this makes it very interesting because we've seen, honestly, mixed results from the Blue Ezreal build. It can run away with some games, but if it falls behind, oftentimes it's very lackluster. This is a situation now where Sneaky picked up those 4 kills that this could be a runaway game for Blue Ezreal. He needs 10 to 12,000 gold to really get that build going, and those 4 kills catapulted him a lot closer to that. Once he gets those big Blue Ezreal items, he might start controlling the game.
And here it looks like they're going to pick up balls in the top lane. Voyboy gets a quick stun down, throws down the ultimate. They get away with that one. The TF ulti
they
coming
better
up top. High is going to two-shot barrage right to the backside. Voyboy with the Ignite on will not get a chase. Oh, he will. There is Meteos locking him down once again. The Cataclysm countering the Lightning Rush and a quick 4-1 beating in the top lane.
Yeah, that was a lot burned to get balls down, but then Cloud9 just had another answer for it. Once again, since they saw Voyboy use a flash to get in, Voyboy can't use that flash for anything but getting out of Cataclysm if Curse wants to win team fights. And since Curse was all spread around the map, they're trying to get back to the Baron, but it's a timely process.
They don't have vision on it, so you cannot get Paranoia over there. It's also down. It's going to be a Baron under 20 minutes coming in for Cloud9.
Very timely play by them there, and just repelled back by that 5-0-1 Ezreal, now with the red buff as well. There's your makeshift Iceborne gauntlets right there to try to keep people at bay. Even though the goal is just 4,000, Cloud9 has really made some winning plays in the past 5 minutes.
As they set up once again, 5,000 gold in the lead. Now that Baron helping a grand amount, and we're going to see that now that it's open, they can start doing what they want. They're going to start spreading out their numbers because they know they're already better off in 1v1 situations. So we see balls to the bottom lane. Going to get sneaky, a little bit of help from Meteos in mid as they do keep safe, but they want to get these lanes pushed up past river.
Exactly. First step for Cloud9 is to make sure all their lanes are pushing. Second step is to either group up in 5-man tower dive or catch someone in transit because High has his ultimate up by the time they're going to get these turrets pushed down. Nyjacky might actually equalize the turret game right here, so maybe they're throwing all that out the window, recognizing Jacky's not there, and maybe Cloud9 just wants to 5-man dive. We know once Cloud9 gets the lead, they do not mess around, so they're just going for the juggler right now.
And Cloud9, they had this turret, remember down here quite a bit ago, I was saying this turret was down about 25% HP, so biding their time, winning a few fights, and getting that extra gold for themselves atop this Baron is going to mean big things. Now looking at this first inhibitor turret, and Curse is really waiting on the back heel.
And the trap Cloud9 might fall into is if they overdive into a Cannonball. So that's the one thing they have to be careful of here. They love diving on it, they can lock in an equalizer, it's great, but they can't get too many people stunned under turret. That's their fear.
Sneaky with that blue buff for his team along with High, so they've grabbed up both. That Oracle's on LemonNation has kept them safe, so they know if they have to exit out of here, they know which path.
And look how far back Curse has to stay because of all the blue buff poke coming out of these Cloud9 guys. Anytime Edward gets hit with anything, it lowers their initiation potential.
There's the lockdown onto High. He flashes out, but the Paranoia goes right back onto him. Looking for Sneaky to do the damage from the outside. He's actually getting focused quite hard, but they're able to drop down Saint immediately. That looks like just a situation, again, of not being able to follow up on the gap close. Double kill for Sneaky.
And we knew Cloud9's fear was getting stunned under the turret, but Curse took the fight to Cloud9 because of Cloud9's poke threat and how they were going to slowly get the turret. So again, Cloud9 forced Curse into a situation that was bad for Curse, and Cloud9's going to probably get an inhibitor off of it.
A full minion wave helps with the turret, helps with the inhibitor. They back with a red buff up and a bottom turret to be teleported to.
Might as well just pick that up on the way out since High didn't have to move. The Lichbane will help him pick this up even faster. So Cloud9's going to be making the rounds here with this. They still have about 70 seconds left on that Baron buff, taking all the jungle, knowing they have the inhibitor, and really starting to round up the turrets and get a large lead on Curse.
Not a huge game of CS. Looks like it's a little under average for everybody, but it's quite even in the CS. We've seen that turrets, dragons, and bodies, kind of the focus of this one.
You can actually see that Curse is ahead in the farm game. Voyboy was stronger than Balls in the laning phase, but I'd have to say Balls was stronger in the teamfight phase, which is what's kind of swung it back for Cloud9.
Those equalizers.
Similar things for Sneaky and Cop. Cop and Edward were able to 2v2 kill Sneaky and LemonNation in the laning phase, but then Sneaky picked up so many kills in those team fights, he's now just this awesome threat on Ezreal, who's now with the Iceborne Gauntlet going to be able to close down a lot of fights.
You know, we got to remember earlier we made the statement that Saint has a hand in First Bloods, and he's actually one of the, came through with that lane gank to help out. Oh!
There's the slow.
There is Sneaky coming up on the back side of him, that Iceborne Gauntlet locking him up, and you fight valiantly to the death. Do what you can.
You may as well. Should have farmed a couple minions on that way because he was dead. And now Cop is still just as strong himself, but you can see Curse is trying to leave their bases to do some things, but Cloud9 is always blocking it.
There's the dragon coming up for them as well, so Ball's definitely trying to hold this turret. Cop is going to get it. They're saying, we're losing dragon, you might want to drop that turret, but a good harass. Whoa! Balls is definitely going to lose that trade if he goes in again.
Draven is definitely a very strong man. And he's showing it to Balls right now. I actually expect, though, Balls to bait Cop in, since Balls is feeling real good about his last engagement, and now it's going to maybe be a 2v2. I
thought he was going to walk up to the turret and take it. Meteos coming in, so he's got the ultimate. The flash is up here for Cop. Cop is going to get locked up, flashing out, goes for the stand aside.
Oh, he's going to get him!
The ultimate comes in. It's going to be High to help him out here. And he looks like they just get it. Didn't even need it. High's like, wait, help me with the assist.
At least that was a very valiant effort by Cop. Making Cloud9 burn Rumble ult, TF ult, and Jarvan ult for his 180 carry when Cloud9's up 6 turrets to 3, multiple kills and 8,000 gold is a really good stall tactic as long as Curse can stall elsewhere.
Right.
But we'll see if that slows down Cloud9 whatsoever on this push.
Quick push
Doesn't look like it.
The top side turn. No, I'm trying to see where they were maneuvering and trying to stop this, but they aren't right now. They know it's just something they have to give up. Like they're just going to clear it out. So Cloud9 moving back in numbers. They have no reason to aggress right now. They want to figure out, get this bottom lane pushed up when they don't have the Baron pressure on them, and then get back in the face of Curse. Curse coming out with their Zanyas. 2 of those now. Ahri also with 1, so that's really going to help the focus in these fights, because everybody pretty much gets those casts down. You're looking for one person. That's the stun card's going to come out. Sneaky's looking to hit one person. You're looking to get that 1 death sentence. So it's definitely going to hurt the focus of Cloud9. It'll be interesting to see how they take that into consideration.
I feel like it would be a lot better for Curse to have double Zanyas if they had more damage items first. Having the double Zanyas is nice, but as a rush in a game which they're losing kind of diminishes their ability to push back Cloud9, because Cloud9 is just going to wait this out. You look at the Runic Bulwark being taken by Meteos, and the general resiliency of the rest of the team. For instance, Rumble having the Rylai's, Twisted Blade having the Zanyas as well.
Yep.
Anything that Curse tries to catch into Cloud9 is going to be escapable. Thresh, they don't care about LemonNation. Sneaky can shift out, and everyone else on their team has an answer as well.
It's a really good point. It almost reverses the effect of Zanyas. For you, it's, hey, let me do this quick second and a half, reevaluate the fight, where can I go? For the other team, it's, all right, let us reevaluate. It's kind of a stop. You guys aren't doing damage. Who do we fight next as you come out of Zanyas? It almost could hurt them.
And Cloud9 has so much target selection.
Right.
And specific range with what they have going on, especially Sneaky on that now 40% CDR with the blue buff, Ezreal. They have total control over these fights.
Lichbane Zanyas as well.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is. Off from the backside. Meteos grabs 2. Saintvicious tries to help. They get a great slicing Maelstrom down. Curse health bars are just so low, though. Somehow LemonNation stays alive. It's only Balls that goes down. Sneaky's going to try to follow. High right on the outside. There's that Zanyas. He takes one just to the side of the temple. Kennen goes unconscious, and that's an ace for Cloud9.
And that was the race to see who could get the last hit right after Zanyas ended. Sneaky won that one because High jumped the gun a little bit, but this looks like a very clean team fight for Cloud9. They're trying to end this game as quickly as possible, going for some kind of record, but they're safely in this one. Looks like 27-minute win.
Cloud9 just keeping themselves away from lanes that had Saintvicious. I don't know if it was a goal for them to do that, but they were always finding the 2v1s, the kills that they could get, and the super inhibitors save the game. For now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cloud9 got a little bit trolled by the inhibitor. They were ready to end the game, but the timing, those inhibitors respawning, once it's respawned, you're not allowed to hit the Nexus or the Nexus turrets anymore. Curse will live for a couple more minutes or day. We'll see.
We will have to see. It's about 10,000 gold coming in for the lead on Cloud9, and they played a definitive game. They didn't. This wasn't a game we saw lane swaps in. It was a game that Meteos got there is actually both buffs stolen, so we'll just say that. So considering all of those things, these guys came into the game knowing it'd get to this point. They're like, oh, those buffs aren't going to matter. We'll hug lanes for a while. It's like these kind of teams knew what was going to happen coming into this, and Cloud9 said they were going to try and shut down the global presence strat of Curse, and they're using it against them now.
Yeah, it's not like High doesn't know how to play Twisted Fate. Right. So he's been able to control most of the game, considering Balls was the one who got beaten up the most in lane. The rest of the team has came in to allow him to succeed, because sure, he's 2-5, but he's got 15 assists. Those equalizers have really been turning some team fights, and Cloud9 just needs any type of team fight win, whether it's a 1 or 2 for 0, and they can end the game.
The flash engage. Saint now down to half health. Saint does have home guards on, so once he gets back, he will be able to help this offensive push coming in from Cloud9. But he is going to walk it all the way back, and it looks like he will get enough time to do that.
Yeah, I wonder if Cloud9's going to go Baron here and risk that, or if they feel like they can end the game without the Baron. Looks like they're probably going to rock towards the Baron, knowing Curse hasn't been out of their base in so long, and Curse doesn't have vision on this area. So essentially, if Curse wants to go in, they fly in blind. For all Curse knows, they think Cloud9's camping in that brush they just pinged, waiting to fight.
Well, they see the mid. Wow, taken down so fast. I thought they were going to try to flank in from the side. They're all in the bush now. LemonNation get locked up. Saint tries to go in onto Lemon. Puts himself right in the front. Cop's going to be able to sit on the outside, but another great Cataclysm by Meteos, and he flashes out of his own ultimate. Cloud9 is just cleaning up this flight surgically right now, and they're going to be able to continue. Nyjacky forced to run the opposite way as Cloud9 heads for the base.
And this time they know the inhibitor's not going to respawn. Nyjacky, the only one who could potentially defend. No ultimate up for him. This looks like Cloud9 taking it home.
Cloud9 said it was Sneaky that said they were going to use the momentum to come into this game, stop that global presence that Curse may have brought to the table. They used it against them. They pulled the vice versa. They take out the Nexus, and they move on to 10-2 in the North American LCS.
And that last fight for Curse seemed like a little bit of frustration. They'd probably already resigned themselves to losing to Cloud9. So Cloud9, holy shit. Once again, just taking care of business. 29 minutes, under 30 again. This was a Cloud9 playstyle game, and they never really deviated from that.
And their other game only went a few minutes over this as well, and it wasn't something they had trouble with. Great presence in every lane that they had to fight for what happened in the top lane. It's not something we've seen Meteos do. He left Balls just to fight Voyboy the whole time. And sometimes we see that. If Balls goes down in lane, they will leave him alone. And he says, I can do this by myself, and I'll have to get back up. But definitely huge teamwork, and I got to give a thumbs up to the ultimates of Meteos that game. Really just changing team fights.
Are you guys done today?
And just changing Voyboy's feelings a lot. He recognized, because Voyboy was aggressing on Balls constantly. He was flashing in to get the kills. And as a Jarvan, when you know Flash is down, you become very happy, because that means they can no longer, especially for Kennen, escape your ultimate. So it's an interesting form of team play that Cloud9 pulled off there, because it's strange to think the best way Meteos can help you is to like wait until the other guy burns a flash and kills you, and then it'll turn around good for your team. Because that's what Cloud9 does. They kind of leave the people who aren't doing well on their own and say everyone else will do well. It's teamwork. And that just works out.
It really does work out. We're actually see how that works out into a triple kill. I believe this was Sneaky's to grab this one up in the mid lane in the replay we have.
Yeah, this was pretty much the momentum-changing fight of the game. It looked like Voyboy was going to get off a pretty good ult, but look at how much the Equalizer did to Edward and Voyboy and Saint together as he flew into that. So the ultimate from Voyboy went off and hit a bunch, but keep in mind, Sneaky was just off on the side, untouched. Everyone else is running through. Hyde only had to throw a couple cards through. That fight was mainly the Equalizer and the slight avoidance of Voyboy's ultimate.
And that bait coming back in, grabbing Cop's flash and barrier. So, like we said, if you know you're going down, make it a valiant attempt to try to get a kill. But Meteos was like, nope, turning
Cop
around.
had a few valiant attempts in that game. He actually played quite well on Draven. Even though his final scoreline of 3-5-3 doesn't look impressive, that was the nature of the game.
And we got to say, Sneaky's does kind of look impressive at 12-0-6 on the game.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
That's pretty good.
It's a pretty good one.
Pretty nice. The blue Ezreal worked out for him. Even with the Elder build first, didn't even build the tier till like 14 minutes or so. He just
that's generally how a lot of Ezreals do it, because you need the lane power of the Elder item. You can't just come to lane with a tier on Ezreal and be
Stack
like,
it up,
fight
man.
You,
I'll
Draven.
be there soon.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
All right, we've got to take a short break, but when we return, Cloud9's High will join us to talk about their perfect 4th of July. Then TSM and Team Coast will battle their second win of the day. Will battle for their second win of the day, actually, as they face off next. The 2013 NALCS Summer Split will be right back. Don't touch that browser.